The Condesa neighborhood in Mexico City is a great place to bring first-time visitors. That was my strategy when my cousin Mary Ellen and her friends Jane and Mary came to visit recently from the Midwest United States.
This was my very first time to visit Mexico City.
We got to drive through the very dense populated areas of Mexico City to come to the Condesa neighborhood.
The Red Tree House was a bed and breakfast that was an oasis for us because it kind of helped you acclimate into the hustle bustle of Mexico City. So I really did enjoy that. They just kind of wrapped you up and eased you out, and they assisted you with whatever direction you wanted to go. And they called you immediately family.
And it was a lovely city to walk around because there was such a variety of businesses. You would walk and you would see people on the street selling things, street vendors. You would see a laundromat. You'd see a fancy restaurant. You would see little cafes on the side. You would see upscale shops. You would see people selling little trinkets on the street. And I felt completely safe in this neighborhood.
A notable feature of Condesa is the old Hippodrome Racetrack. Nowadays, Amsterdam Avenue follows the oval curve of what was once the racetrack. A pedestrian sidewalk bordered by leafy greenery runs between the lanes of the avenue. Within the huge center of the old Hippodrome is the Parque De Mxico, a remarkable oasis in the city.
I particularly really like walking through the area parks. Amsterdam walks right up into an area of the city that has a beautiful, lush, tropical feel of varieties of plants and gardens and walkways, and the dog park was particularly fun. The dog whisperers who are out there with their animals doing their training, just the locals out walking. It truly was neighborhood feel.
And the park there is not a destination. You walk through that park to go to a lot of other places, so it's really like used. You just don't go to the park to do one thing. You're walking through that park to go to other places, which makes it be a real integral part of that neighborhood.
In Condesa, walking around and strolling, because it wasn't just fast-paced, you could stroll, and that I enjoyed because it was my vacation.
The food in Mexico was wonderful. I thought I knew Mexican food, but I really didn't know Mexican food.
Tex-Mex is not Mexican food.
It is not. It is, and because everything is so fresh.
In Condesa, we stopped in this one little cafe in the morning. We were going to get our sandwiches to go because we had a long bus ride ahead of us. So we had a sandwich there and then one to go with us. But as we were at the cafe, at the table there were a variety of sauces, so you could put and taste the different heats of Mexico.
From the Condesa neighborhood, it's easy to get to other parts of Mexico City, such as the historic center near the Zócalo, where the great cathedral and the ancient Templo Mayor sit side by side.
So Condesa is a short ride to the center of the city, where all of the big government buildings and the palace, the historical aspects of the city are.
Here, the busy heart of the city hums with a near-constant subwoofing roar, and a wealth of history and culture mingle with modern urban life.
It's easy to stay engaged and get around to places that have huge historical significance, as well as seeing the everyday life in Mexico City.
Once back in the easygoing ambiance of Condesa, you'd hardly know you're in one of the largest cities on the planet.